Avoidants deactivate. They pull away or become more distant and guarded. And when they do this, it's hard not to panic, especially if it's the first time, or worse yet, if they broke up with you in the past and it started exactly this way. Hi guys, I'm Carolina. I used to date an avoidant who deactivated every other week. At first, it was just a bit annoying, but I didn't think too much of it. But then the distance escalated. Instead of just needing space, my then avoidant partner started becoming unsure about our relationship. Over the years, I've learned and perfected my ways of dealing with avoidant deactivation until it just stopped being a problem in our relationship. My formerly avoidant partner is now my husband, and he doesn't deactivate at all. He just talks to me. Now we run this YouTube channel together, helping you guys replicate our results. In this video, I'll teach you what to text an avoidant during deactivation to get a response, and also how to get them to snap out of this detached, distant mode and open up about whatever is going on for them. So, what is avoidant deactivation? It's a self-protective emotional shutdown that people with an avoidant attachment style unconsciously employ when they feel their independence is threatened or when emotional intimacy becomes too intense. What does this look like in real life? When they deactivate, avoidants tend to take longer to reply to your texts. Their texts get shorter, less emotional, more distant and detached. They might ask for space or reject all your attempts at connection. But why am I explaining this to you guys? Because before we get into discussing solutions, we first have to talk about what not to do. You see, chances are you already tried snapping your avoidant out of their deactivation. I know from my personal experience how anxiety-inducing it can be when your avoidant partner gets distant or non-communicative. You might feel like they're suddenly slipping away or abandoning you. Initially, you'll try to keep your panic in check and remain grounded. However, you'll also seek some reassurance and likely text them something like this: "Is everything okay? Are we good? I'm worried about you." You might also try to get them to open up by getting chatty. Here's an example of what I mean. "Hey, I haven't heard from you all day today. You wouldn't believe what just happened. My sister scratched her new car in the parking lot. I was with her when she did it, and she's blaming me for distracting her. We had this crazy fight. Now she's on the phone with her insurance. Anyway, I hope you're killing it today. Kisses." And then their silence might trigger you even more, so you try to be cute and vulnerable. You might text them something loving, like this: "Just saw the sun through the trees and it reminded me of the way you smile. Thinking of you and sending you a big hug. Hope your day is as wonderful as you are, heart." Or you might start communicating your anxiety a little bit by texting a simple "I miss you." And then, when their silence, their distance, or continuous request for more and more space get you even more riled up, you might become more direct and request, "I've been feeling a bit anxious lately and I realize I'm craving a bit more connection. I know you value your space and I respect that completely. When you feel available, I'd really appreciate some quality time with you." So if you already tried any of the approaches I listed here, you need to buckle up and accept that you're on your own for now. I know this is hard to hear. It was really tough for me back then too, but understanding this was a complete game changer in our relationship. It's what allowed me to start approaching Gabriel in a way that would make him open up instead of pulling away. You see, avoidants are like pufferfish. They get spooked and they puff up. When they're deactivated, it's as though they are in this inflated state. And when they're like this, all puffed up, they can't see things properly. They also don't really know where they're going. They're kind of just floating around, interpreting everything that touches them as a potential threat. I know this sounds silly, but it is a good metaphor to explain their illogical behavior. So when you ask them, "How do you feel about me?" they'll say, "I'm not sure. Where do you see this going?" "I don't know." "What do you want?" "I don't know." That's what you're dealing with here, an inflated, panicked pufferfish. So you either need to engage with them in a very particular way, or you simply need to give them time to deflate. If you send any of the above mentioned messages, anxious inquiries, chatty texts, loving messages, or direct requests for more closeness and connection, you just irritated the puffed up avoidant more. Even though these were completely harmless gestures, the pufferfish avoidant thinks you're a harpoon or a shark. Now, they're even more freaked out and they'll need longer to deflate. For now, all you can do is accept that they're all puffed up, helplessly floating around, unable to see or choose the direction they're going. They can't help you. You are on your own. When I finally understood this about my avoidant partner, his deactivation became a whole lot less anxiety inducing because I knew he was overreacting and that I didn't need to take the things he said so seriously. This is avoidant nature. They get spooked this way, and there's nothing you can do about it. You need to accept that when they deactivate, they're not in a state to give you what you need, that you are on your own. They're not there for you, but it doesn't mean they'll be gone forever. How long does the puffed up state last? Avoidant deactivation lasts on average 3 to 7 days, so it's really not the end of the world. This is something I started telling myself, and it really helped me calm down. I'm not losing him. He didn't change his mind about me. He's just overreacting for now, but he'll snap out of it. So I need to stop pushing for more because it will only make this whole ordeal longer. If you already tried getting your avoidant partner to engage more in any of the ways I described in the beginning, you need to pause this video, save it for later, subscribe to not miss any of our future videos, and switch gears for the next 3 to 7 days. Seriously, one of you needs to remain level-headed, and it's not going to be your avoidant, since they're currently aimlessly floating around, terrified of everything that comes close. Let them deflate in peace. Now, for all of you guys who haven't tried anything yet, or for those who already gave your avoidant at least 3 days of space, here are the text messages you can send to get a response from a deactivated avoidant and make them communicative again. I'll give you 3 options, 3 different approaches you can try out depending on your circumstances. Option number 1 is to approach the avoidant playfully to de-escalate their overreaction. You can start with, "So, what is up with you?" Sherlock Holmes emoji. And wait, deactivation makes avoidance extra slow. They might need a full day to respond. Finally, they might answer by opening up about whatever it was that kept them silent. It's also possible you'll be able to just restart the conversation as though the deactivation never happened. In the ideal case scenario, this text should be enough to get your partner to start talking to you. But there's also a possibility that they'll still remain silent. If you don't get a response for a day, it shows your avoidant is sulking about something. That's when you can simply ask, "Okay, what did I do?" and wait another hour. And if you still don't get an answer, follow up by, "Tell me, I can handle it." And then don't get defensive when they open up. Acknowledge their point of view. For example, if they respond, "I repeatedly asked you for space, yet you kept on texting me. You keep on saying you get me, but then you act as though you don't. I told you I simply needed time." You reply, "I panicked. I'm sorry I kept on texting you." To which they might already say, "I'm sorry too." This way, you can have a healing conversation to help both of you get over this deactivation. You can win the avoidance trust, and they can learn that you are willing to listen and come their way. It's how you teach an avoidant you're not their enemy, you're not the shark, you're not the harpoon, and that you are willing to adapt to what they need. But maybe you already apologize for overloading them multiple times. Maybe you don't feel like it'd be fair for them to blame you again. If this is the case, here is option number 2. Make the avoidant feel like they're missing out. Think of an activity your partner enjoys and then go do it on your own. Take a picture of it and send it to them. One of my coaching clients went to a drag race by herself. She texted her avoidant ex the photo from it, and it got him chatting with her right away. He felt left out, but also he felt like she was taking an interest in the things that interested him. It made him excited. He kept the conversation going, and he even made plans to see her. They were a long-distance couple. So think of something your avoidant likes. Go do it and send them a snapshot. It's much more likely to generate a response than any heartfelt, loving message, because actions speak louder than words. But what if you're getting impatient with your avoidant partner's deactivations? What if you're sick and tired of them pulling away all the time? You wish to be with someone you could rely on more. You wish your avoidant partner was more consistent. Sadly, in my experience, setting boundaries with a deactivated avoidant is a bit pointless. It tends to make them defensive. They just puff up more. You can do it when they are more responsive. That is a much better time to communicate your needs. A more effective approach during avoidant deactivation is to employ option number 3. Uno reverse the avoidant. Here is what to text. You needing space is somehow rubbing me up the wrong way. So I'm going to have to take a step back myself to figure this out. Just letting you know. If you think that avoidants are immune to the feeling of anxiety that arises after being rejected, definitely check out this episode of our podcast next. Here's where Gabriel, a former avoidant, spills all their secrets and opens up about their feelings. Avoidants do get anxious, and anxiety tends to get people to text more. You and your avoidant are not that different. So feel free to be just as vague about your needs and intentions as they are. If they want to know how much space exactly you need, they can just ask. Do you see what I'm doing here? Giving an avoidant a taste of their own medicine is often the most effective wake-up call. Avoidants are blind to their own behavior. They don't see it when they're being distant. They'll deny and tell you you're overreacting. But when you do the same to them, suddenly it's all clear as day. Still, keep in mind, avoidants are slower. So if you don't get a response for a day, it just means they're still thinking about what to write. That's just their pace when they're deactivated. It's not because you're not enough, not because they changed their mind about you. It's because you're still talking to the inflated pufferfish, somewhat paranoid and panicked. This is what I started doing. Instead of taking Gabriel's deactivation personally and letting it rile me up, I just started accepting it as part of his character, something I didn't like, but was willing to put up with because I liked other things about him. So it seemed worth it. Initially, I'd just start letting him be more, and it did stop our conflicts from escalating, but it also made us move slower than I'd like. That's when I started implementing that first approach of playful check-ins, testing if he'll bite. Sometimes he would, and we'd end up first chatting and then even spending time together. Other times it would turn out he was upset about something I did. We'd talk about it, I'd listen to him, and acknowledge his point of view. It also made him more chatty and trusting. And there were times when I'd actively make him feel like he was missing out. He always attempted to play it cool, but it almost always made him initiate a meetup. When it comes to this third approach, I did something like this after our third breakup. I asked for space, and I did genuinely use it to regain my own composure and make sense of what wasn't working for me. I also asked for timeouts during our fight sometimes. The avoidant approach of needing space has its merits. There are moments when it is the most productive thing to do. It was a mix of all three approaches that allowed me to gradually learn how to respond to Gabriel's deactivation the right way. Once I was implementing them, I saw immediate results. He'd respond faster and faster. Sometimes he would even open up right away instead of deactivating. I also made sure to set boundaries with him when we were on good terms, and he'd make an effort to respect them too. You guys can achieve these results. You can learn how to handle your avoidant pufferfish so that they deflate in your hands. Ultimately, that's what they want and what they're looking for. It's also something we can help you with in our Attach and Avoidant program. In here, we explain avoidance in great detail so that there are no more misunderstandings that could drive you two apart. We also give you actionable tips and scripts to use in your relationship to handle things differently. For those of you who are interested, you'll find a link to Attach and Avoidant in the description of this video. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. Subscribe for more attachment styles advice from a former anxious avoidant couple, and thank you for watching.